Hi everyone, it's me, Krylios, Team Racing Productions MC and producer. And today joining me is Elissa Silverman. Welcome.
Good to be here. Good to see
It is,
you.
it is so great to have you here with us today. Thank you so much for being here. And the first thing I want to start off with, as we do here, is to have you introduce yourself to our audience and let them know a little bit about your experience and background.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Krylios. It's great to be here again. Sorry, I'm missing Racine. But I am Elissa Silverman. I'm one of the at-large council members, meaning I represent the entire city. I'm one of the two independents on the council. And I have been a council member for 8 years. So I am running for re-election for my third term. I chair the Committee on Labor and Workforce Development. A lot of people in these last 2 years have gotten to know my committee because we have oversight over the city's unemployment system because a lot of folks were affected during COVID and either lost their job or temporarily lost their job due to the pandemic. So we have oversight over the Department of Employment Services and other agencies as well.
Certainly, certainly. Well, we're so glad to have you here with us now. Talk to everyone. You know, you are running for re-election this year. To tell me what has been your most, wonderful moments from your past term and why you really want to run for re-election and, continue doing what you're doing.
Great. Well, I think the biggest policy that I'm known for is paid family leave. So I co-authored the law that put paid family leave into place. And I think the most exciting thing over these past 4 years, which has certainly been hard for all of us, has been to see paid family leave turn into an actual program, from an idea to a piece of legislation to a law. And now there are thousands of families that benefit. And how do they benefit? Well, when you have a life event, whether it be a really joyous one, like having a child, welcoming a new child into your family, or I'll be honest, a heartbreaking one, like having to say goodbye to a parent or an aunt or uncle, you are able to take the time you need, whether it be to bond with the new child or to take that time to both make arrangements and grieve and care for a loved one without it being financially catastrophic. So what paid leave does is it allows you to take time off for qualifying events, like we mentioned, and you receive compensation. So it's not your full paycheck. Depending on your income level, it can almost be your full paycheck, or it will at least be part of your paycheck. But what it does is allow you to take that time off without having financial consequences. So I have to say that is probably the most exciting thing that's happened this term. It launched in the middle of the pandemic, on time, under budget, and thousands of families and workers have benefited from it.
Awesome, awesome. Now, if re-elected, give me what would be your top issues that you would be looking at, upon re-election, things that, really at the top of your ticket right now that you want to get done.
So, this is where I'm not going to be too counterintuitive, in that I think the big issues facing our city right now are public safety. People are not feeling safe. And certainly there's a lot of evidence for why. We've got to get a handle on the illegal guns in our city, and we got to get a handle on people not using them. Public education, we know that the future of our city is contingent upon us having really good public education system. And I think right now it's a bit of a gamble. Depending on where you live, you might want to go to your neighborhood school and you might not want to. And then you might go into our charter school system, which is a lottery. It's a gamble. public schools shouldn't be a gamble, in my opinion. We need to have a system that ensures no matter where you live in the city, that you're going to have a good education. And finally, like housing, this is, I'm known for my labor work, but I'm also known for my housing work. Krylios, we need to make sure the people who live here can stay here.
Mhm.
And then look, I grew up elsewhere and moved to the district. We need to make sure that people who work in the city, whether you work at CVS or you work for a newspaper like I did early in my career, or, you work for, our city government, that you can afford to live here. And so those, I
Certainly.
think, are the big things.
Oh yes, definitely, definitely. Well, tell everyone why you are the best choice for voters come this election.
Well, I have a unique race in that you get 2 votes in the at-large race. And so I'm just asking for one of your 2 votes. That this is unusual in city elections. I think I'm a terrific council member and qualified, and I think I've earned your vote, and I'm asking for your vote, but you can give your vote to someone else as well. But I think that I have a track record of accountability.
Yeah.
I have to say, Krylios, the thing that I think really sets me apart is that I focus on how we spend our tax dollars.
Mm.
It's people say it's not sexy and it's not, what you're going to run in a campaign ad, but I think we're not spending our tax dollars well. And let me give you a few examples. Like in the fall, a lot of people complained about leaf pickup, right? That they were supposed to get their leaves picked up. They never got picked up. That has to do with how we are spending our dollars, making sure if we have a contractor, making sure we're getting our money's worth. I'm not a person who bets on sports, but you might be. I was surprised at how many people do. We have a sports betting program that's losing money. We have a contract that's ridiculous. I voted against it. We need to, we do get a lot of tax dollars in our city. We still have a lot of revenue coming in, $19.5 billion budget. We should be able to do a lot of things. And in the end, Krylios, the point is we need to improve people's lives with that spending. We need to make life better for people in the district. And I think we have a lot of work to do there. I think we don't always spend our tax dollars in the best way possible, or we give contracts to friends and family. That's not, I'm fine giving it to friends and family if they're the best person for the job. But we have serious issues, as we talked about, with public safety, with housing, with making sure people get good jobs, making sure that this is, a good place to live. And therefore, we need to make sure we're making smart, judicious, strategic decisions with your tax dollars. And that's what I'll do over the next 4 years.
Awesome, awesome. So, well, when does voting begin and when is the election so people can get ready?
Yeah, so so I know a lot of voters are saying, didn't I just vote on June 21st?
For the
That's
primary.
true. Most of my, if I'm an independent, so I don't have a partisan primary, but many voters in the district are Democrats, and you did vote for the Democratic nominees, June 21st. So we're talking about the election November 8th, but let me tell you, Krylios, the world has changed, as we know, in that the district now does mail-in voting. So every registered voter is going to get a ballot mailed to their house at the address the Board of Elections has. And those ballots are going to go into the mail the first week of October. So you're going to have your ballot probably by October 7th or 8th, like a month in advance of Election Day. So voting begins when you get your ballot. The drop boxes that many of our voters used are still in place. So you can start voting once you get your ballot. There is still early voting, and that's going to occur the last 2 weeks before Election Day. So I don't have the timetable before me, but I think it begins like the October 23rd or 24th. And then election day is November the 8th.
November the 8th. Keep that in mind and make sure that if you want to check your voter registration status, you want to pledge to vote and register to vote, you can go to headcount.org. Once again, that's headcount.org. Pledge to vote, check your status, and register to vote. Council Member Silverman, how can people find out more about you, find out more about your campaign, keep up with all the updates, and, follow whatever you are doing and, support and donate if they want?
Oh, wow. I couldn't have made a better pitch than you did. And these graphics are wonderful. But as you see on this screen, if you want more information about my campaign, you go to elissafordc.com. If you want to know more about what I've done as your council member, you can go to elissasilverman.com. And if you want to donate, if you go to elissafordc.com, there is a donate button. And let me say that this is the second election now in which we are having public financing, which means that there's a low donor maximum, and then that money, if you agree to that as a candidate to only collect small donations, then there's a match from taxpayer dollars. So I am a participant in fair elections, which means that you can only donate up to $100. But what it does is really even the playing field so that these big corporations and developers who normally who are giving to another candidate in my race, don't have the weight that they do under that traditional system. And, just regular residents have just as much weight in terms of donations. I think it's a great system.
Awesome. Well, we're going to have these links in the description below so that our viewers can go ahead and check them out. And Councilmember Silverman, thank you so much for joining us today. It has been such a pleasure getting to chat with you and, getting to be here. And I wish you best of luck on the upcoming election.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. And people can reach out to me by email, just at elissafordc.com if they have any questions. And you do have a yard sign picture. And I will say, for those who don't know, yard signs matter. They do. People know who pays attention to local politics, and they look in the yards of those people. So, if you are supporting me, I'd love for you to have a yard sign too. And you can do that through our website as well. But thank you so much, Krylios. As I said, I'm sorry to miss Racine, but great to see you. And thank you so much for the opportunity to talk a little bit about the election.
Certainly. And I'll send Racine your love. Thank you so much. Those watching, please follow Team Racine Productions at Team Racine on all forms of social media. And of course, just click around our YouTube channel and check out our other interviews, forums, vlogs, and more. And while you're there, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. But most of all, thank you for watching. Bye, everyone.